I've returned back to Ordsall today, just on the outskirts of Retford, and I'm here for probably the third and last time. Finally, the mystery of the Ordsall eggs collected from here a couple of weeks ago has been solved. The answer is in here. And the species it is that it's turned out to be is a surprise, and for the first time here's actually one of the adults here. She's just finished laying this small batch of eggs. Now this is the first time that I've seen an adult or nymph here, and the species that it is Lyrissas hyalinus. It's a name actually that was given to me by someone in Germany after publishing the second of these 3 videos where I showed the nymphs. I did some investigation, looked the nymphs up, and hey presto, they were an exact match. And now that all those nymphs are adults, I've brought them back and they can join this one. And here is one of those nymphs that I took home a couple of weeks ago and have reared through a number of nymph stages, and now it's a rather plain looking adult. They can be more purple than this. In fact, the one that I initially found here today did have some coloration on it, but this is Lyrissas hyalinus. It is, as far as I'm aware, a new species for Nottinghamshire, and the exciting thing about it is this only a few years ago was regarded as very much as being a migratory species to the UK. In the last couple of decades it has apparently been able to gain a foothold, and one of those footholds is now in Nottinghamshire, here at Ordsall. I know of no other published records of the species for Nottinghamshire, and in fact all the other records I think are south of Nottinghamshire. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't occur in Lincolnshire, Leicestershire or Derbyshire. And funny enough, I've just found this. This is Stictopleurus punctata novosus. At least I'm presuming it is, because there is Stictopleurus abutiloni or something like that, if I remember right. And this is on sow thistle. It's a broader species than hyalinus, notably different. You compare photos of the 2 species though on the internet, and sometimes you fail to see a difference, but there is a difference. And here's Lyrissas hyalinus on the same dead flower head as what you've just been looking at, Stictopleurus punctata novosus. Now you can see the difference in shape and size. So it's a more petite and streamlined parallel sided species than punctata novosus. It's funny in a way really how things work out, because in a very similar way to how at the end of any Hercule Poirot or Miss Marple film all the suspects are gathered together, this is pretty much the same thing. All the characters are turning up. First of all, finally getting an adult or even a nymph along here of Lyrissas hyalinus, the species in question, and all of a sudden Stictopleurus punctata novosus turns up. Only Nika rises as high as Skyami, and all the suspects are in front of us. But at least this little chap here, we now know the identity of, and who laid Ordsall's mysterious eggs, of which there are lots here. and also at Egryn. I've just, before I came here this morning, I've been and photographed some early stage nymphs there at Egryn. So it must be elsewhere in Nottinghamshire. We just need people to take an interest in Hemiptera and have a look. So then, the mystery finally solved. I'm quite pleased. I'm glad I came back and took the eggs, although I could have come back over several weeks and found numerous batches of eggs as it turned out. But the whole process of rearing some bugs from eggs was totally new and surprisingly easy as well, because Lyrissas hyalinus nymphs feed on the sap and juices contained within sow thistle or prickly lettuce. They don't mind which. Saying that, all of the eggs that I've found here at Ordsall have all been laid on prickly lettuce. I haven't found any on sow thistle, but in captivity they will. They're very easy to rear. You don't have to do anything to them, just make sure they've got clean food plant. So the Ordsall mystery, the mystery of the Ordsall eggs, is no more. We know what it is now. As it turned out, it's a new species for Nottinghamshire, and I didn't expect that. I was hoping that there would turn out to be Coryza's hyoscyamine nymphs, because I've never seen the nymphs of Coryza's before. That's what I thought there would be. And then, as I've mentioned earlier, I thought it was Stictopleurus punctato nervosus. Nope, not those. And if it wasn't for a message from a gentleman in Germany, I wouldn't have known until they hatched out. But part of the fun, I could have researched deeper and deeper, but I didn't, because I've enjoyed the experience of watching these nymphs grow and then maturing out into adults. I did know what they were before they emerged as adults, but it's still been a lovely process to do. So, if you find something, you don't know what it is, take it home and rear it on. I wonder, sometimes, are we losing that inquisitive nature? I mean, the Victorians used to do it all the time. Found a caterpillar, took it home, reared it. Oh, it's that. That way, they knew a lot more about it. The information, most of the information that we know on the life cycle of Lepidoptera, but all invertebrates, most of it's all down to work that was undertaken by naturalists over 100 years ago. Perhaps we should get our fingers out a bit more and do a bit more research and find it out for ourselves. It's all good fun. And it's something that you can always involve the next generation in, rearing some caterpillars with the kids, getting them involved and getting them into wildlife and finding out and encouraging that inquisitive nature that all children have. From my experience, it's the grown-ups that 9 times out of 10 eventually cease that child's curiosity. And they shouldn't do. We need children to come and look for the stuff that we're finding now, and for the stuff that's going to turn up in Notts and the rest of the UK in the next 10, 50 odd years.